Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Meat Cranium Barbecue Review. Today I'm doing a brisket on the Oklahoma Joe Bronco. I'm going to be using the Truwave in a non-traditional manner. I've seen Harry Sue a couple times, and he likes to put a block of wood up underneath his briskets to kind of bow them up, so as they're cooking, the liquid kind of careens off of the brisket, so it doesn't pool up. Well, I was thinking, if you have a block of wood there, it's not going to really cook on the other side of that block of wood. So I got this Truwave, and what I was thinking of, the Truwave has these slats, and as it cooks, air is going to be passing through here. It's going to be kind of like a convection type of cook. So I'm thinking this is probably going to work out pretty good. I'm going to lay a brisket across here. It's going to kind of bow it up, and then the brisket should cook. It should help the brisket cook as well. And this is going to be done on my Oklahoma Joe Bronco. Here you go. Right there's a Bronco. I'm going to get the camera pointed down and just get this brisket trimmed up. All right, there you go. So I have here is about a 14.5 pound brisket, and I already rinsed off the brisket. You might say, oh, that's disgusting. You rinsed off the brisket. Yeah, I absolutely do, because I think it's more disgusting to not rinse your meat off. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this fat trimmed off. It's got a pretty big, this is a choice brisket if anybody's asking. Got a pretty big size fat cap on here, if you can see this. Pretty big size fat cap. Look at that, there's a lot of fat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this thing over, just start carving away. Now, you don't have to throw this fat away. You can use this to render down and use it for other stuff. I'm probably going to cut a little bit off right here so it can fit into the smoker a little bit better, because the Oklahoma Joe Bronco is a little bit narrow. So I'm going to probably just cut this bit off right here. Oh, I have people ask me, how do I sharpen my knives? Right, here's how I sharpen my knives. I got this right here from a kitchen supply store. This is a professional sharpening steel. So I just go a couple times, 4 times, keep it at a 15 to 20 degree angle, and do my knives. Okay, that sharpens it right up. Look at that, bam, nice and sharpened up. All right, might look like a hack job, but I'm kind of in a hurry here. All right, now let's get on with the binder. Now for my binder I'm using water. That's all I'm using right here. You don't need no fancy stuff on your brisket, just plain old water. I'm using some Heaven Made Products, Texas Best brisket rub. You might say, why are you seasoning the fat? Simple, because I want to. So right here, I went ahead and I angled the temp probe down so it's even with the probe on the temp gauge. All right, now it's time to get the brisket on. All right, there we go. Have the brisket is angled over the Truwave. The convection heat should take care of the bottom, which I have the fat going down. The reason I have the fat down is because the heat source is on the bottom and it's coming up. I'm gonna let this come up the temp a little bit, and then we're going to shut the flues down. Okay, so we're gonna keep the top exhaust vent completely open. gonna adjust through right here, and I found I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna go just wide butt open right now. I'm gonna go to a 4 until it comes up the temperature, and then I will adjust it down from there. All right, so I just turned the Inkbird on, and I forgot to put the probes into the meat, so I'm gonna do that now. Now, how I do my probes is I angle it first to see how far it is down into the meat, and then I mark it with my thumb, and then I push it down inside there. So the halfway point is about right here. Boom. Perfect. So you get it right smack dab in the middle. Same thing with the flat. Go halfway down the flat, about right there. Mark it with your finger, right here. Put it in. All right, y'all, so it's about to start raining. So I brought my Oklahoma Joe Bronco inside the part of my garage here to keep it dry when it starts raining. Anyhow, the internal temperature of the pit right now is at 244. My goal is 275. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna back down the flue here. I'm gonna go about a quarter. This isn't really turning where I want it to turn. So I'm gonna go probably about a quarter of the intake is gonna be open, and the exhaust here is going to remain open at full tilt boogie. All right. If it starts going a little bit above 275, then I'm just gonna close this a little bit. If it starts to not get up to 275, I'm gonna open up just a little bit. And I'll make these little incremental changes until I hone in right around 275 to say 300 is going to be that little 25 degree area is going to be my sweet spot. So that's what I'm trying for right now. I'll be back in, I don't know, probably when I go to spritz in there about another 2 more hours. All right, y'all, it's been 2 hours, and right now I'm maintaining a temperature about 291, and the point is at 99 degrees, and then the flat, I think this might be wrong. It's showing it's 167. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna reposition that probe because there's no way after 2 hours I can be at 167. I think that's a little off. That's looking real nice, and I put a couple of pieces like right here on the side. Starting to dry out right here. Starting to form a nice bark right here. I like that. It's looking really good. Now, what I can think of is maybe the heat's coming up through the Truwave, and it's heating up what's like right here. So I'm gonna move this down. I'll move this down to about right here. See if we got a different temperature right at the tip of the brisket. Let me see if it's gonna calm it down some. All right, here we go. So yeah, so the internal now of the pit. I just closed the lid. Is at 248, 252. The point. Really, the point's at 185. I mean, the point is at 100, and the flat is at 185. That can't be right. Unless that Truwave is just like really heating up underneath that brisket, and it's cooking that flat a lot sooner than what I want it to. Which then in turn I would have to cut the flat off. I'd have to cook the two separate. What I might have to do, I might have to just cook those two separate. Every time I make an adjustment, it goes higher. So now it's at 198 on the inside. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to cut that brisket, that flat off, and cook that separately, or probably cut it about right here, because that shouldn't be happening like that. Let's try it right there. Yeah, now I'm back to a 160, 158. I guess that's about true. So I'm probably gonna come out here in a little bit, and I'm going to remove that flat. I want to cut the flat off. Alright, this is about 10 minutes later. Right now we got internal temperature of the flat is at 183. The point's at 162. Internal temperature of the Bronco is at 306. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the brisket off the smoker, and I'm going to separate it, and I'm going to wrap up the flat up. Alright, and then I'm going to let the point go unwrapped for right now. Got a nice color on the flat, got a nice bark right here. It's already formed and set. Got a nice color on there, I like that. So I'm just going to cut this to about, say about, this is a little bit more shallower part, and I'm going to put this back on the smoker. Alright, I'm going to put this, get some butcher paper here. Alright, this is already done, or almost. Just going to let it go ahead and finish it off in the smoker. All right, this is what it looks like. There we go. Got the point, let it keep going. Then the flat, when that gets done, I'm gonna pull that at about 205, 210. All right, y'all, so this is what's going on. The internal is 255. The flat just hit 199, and the point is still at 162. I think I've ran my course of all of the coals. I think the coals are at their end, so we'll say 8.5 hours. The full basket is what I got. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the flat, I'm gonna wrap it up inside some foil, I'm gonna put it into a cooler, because that I'll deem done, and it will probably get up to about 205, 210 internal is what I'm guessing it's going to get into. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Man, that point looks stellar. It's nice and dark. That's what you kind of want to see. I'm going to spray it before I wrap it. Actually, before I put it into the oven. All right, take this off. All right, so next time you see me, I will be cutting into it, and I'll be ending the video. I'm not gonna show you guys putting it into the oven. There's really no need in doing that. Okay, time right now is 9 o'clock. So that brisket's been in there for 10 hours, and the point is finally done. It's at an internal temperature of 207. I'm gonna put it into the cooler, and then just gonna wait and let it rest. Alright y'all, so this has been a long day. I'm ready for this day to be over. As you've seen, I had to separate the flat from the point because the flat was cooking a lot faster than the point. As you can see from when I cut it up, I didn't get the best cut on it because I'm kind of cutting at an angle over the camera and also over the light with my hand all kind of cockeyed. I didn't get a really good cut on it. However, the flat, as y'all seen, it looks pretty dry. Here's a piece of that. Got a nice, really good smoke ring on it right here. But it does appear pretty dry. You know, it's overcooked. I think I let it rest for too long, but whatever. Hey, you know what? Even brisket's dry makes phenomenal chili. So if you ever overcook brisket, it's actually a little gift because you can put this in the chili. It's not terrible. It's definitely not the best flat I've ever eaten. It is kind of dry. It's edible, especially in some chili. Now this point, on the other hand, that point is spot on. You see how juicy that was? It was just pouring. The juice just pouring out of it. So you get that nice, fat. So I like leaving a fat between the flat and the point. I like leaving the hunk of fat there because it gives a moisture to both sides. I really like that. So here's the bottom part of the point. That's like candy. It literally melts in the mouth. It's meat candy. It is absolutely phenomenal. And here's the top part of it. This here is just fat. I'm gonna cut this off. It is a tale of two different cooks. The brisket flat, not so good. The brisket point, really good. So can you cook a brisket using the Truwave? Absolutely. You can use it as an assistant. to try to bow it over, especially using a drum type smoker. I have people that wanted me to, because I always like to hang my briskets. I think if I would have hung it, it probably would have come out a lot better. However, if you want to lay yours across a Truwave and the heat's going to come through the Truwave, it's going to help it cook. Anyhow, I'm going to end it here. I'm pretty tired. I've been doing this all day long. Anyhow, like, subscribe. I'll see you next week. Ciao.